We don't dare say what's happening. You don't dare say a word to anyone. My parents worked many hours a week, particularly my dad, my biological dad. He worked so many hours a week for the airlines. And when my brother and I would come home from school, we were to go to our neighbor's house until my parents got home. My parents had a very close relationship with this neighbor. We lived in what was considered a safe neighborhood. We had keys to each other's houses. We just had a very close community. We lived in that safe neighborhood. It was just known for being safe. And it was so far from that. When I was 6, my neighbor began trafficking me. He began selling me to other men. For a long time, it was so normal to me, and it wasn't a violent thing that I thought it was normal. I thought that every kid dealt with that, and I didn't know that it was a very highly inappropriate situation. Didn't know that it would be considered abuse. I didn't know that it was considered trafficking. I didn't know words to put to it. I lived with it because I thought that, that was the way he loved me. When I was in a setting with multiple men, which happened pretty regularly, maybe once a week, maybe every 2 weeks, they would often put me in the middle, make me take my clothes off, make me watch pornography in front of them, and they made me do many things that they would do to me, including putting objects inside of me, inside of myself. They thought that was cool. The men that would abuse me or watch me be abused were paying my neighbor for the deeds and the acts that they completed or started or whatever. It would often be based on my performance or my behavior. And I remember knowing that because of what I made from it. I don't remember exactly how much I made. I do remember never making more than $5. But it was always a different amount depending on whether or not I behaved well according to him. I remember him teaching me what was appropriate and what wasn't at a very young age. Sounds of pleasure versus sounds of displeasure. And the other men started abusing me, would look for that knowledge that I had about sex, even though I didn't even know what it was called at the time. But I remember thinking, if I do this well, I will make money, and that's cool to go to school with money. I thought I was a cool kid. But when I was 7 was when reality struck. He raped me. There were many men involved, so much pain, so much blood, and I freaked out. I remember crying a lot, but yet being so numb at the same time. I went home and immediately showered, and I remember taking my clothes home with me, but throwing them away in the back garbage can so that my parents wouldn't find them. It was so secretive. I didn't know that I could speak up. But soon enough, there were other men raping me too. So it was a normal part of life until it stopped. Until he moved away. Hiding things was my life. It was what was modeled for me. It was the Southern mentality of we don't talk about our problems. So does it happen in your community? More than likely. Does it happen in your state? Absolutely. Does it happen in your country? Oh my gosh, yes. The more people that speak out, the more people that stand up, the more people that fight, the better our chances are of ending it. But I'm here to say that there's freedom. There's a life beyond it. There is hope beyond the hurt.